Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Township of West Lincoln Council meeting. This is actually meeting number 7, and today is Tuesday, May 19th. I would like it, please, if you're able to stand for the singing of O Canada. Tonight, it's Gainsborough Public School. Thank you. So just so that our guests are aware, we have rotating O Canadas by all of our local public schools and the high school. The high school, of course, sounds very much different than the elementary schools, but we enjoy them. So before starting this meeting, I'd like to provide the following announcements. The public may submit comments for matters that are on the agenda to jpaylove@westlincoln.ca before 4:30 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Comments submitted will be considered as public information and read into the public record. And secondly, this meeting is being live streamed as well as recorded and will be available on the Township's website. And as always, we'll begin with the land acknowledgement statement. The Township of West Lincoln, being part of Niagara Region, is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Wendronk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Township of West Lincoln, as part of the regional municipality of Niagara, stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. And Councillor Maychak, you have the opening petition this evening.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, may we act wisely and well.
Thank you, Councillor. Members of Council, are there any changes in order of items on the agenda? And seeing none, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest and/or conflict of interest? Okay, and seeing none. I'm going to stop for a minute before we go on with the next part of our meeting to acknowledge that 2 of our councillors are missing this evening. So we have regrets from Councillor Bradrick and also from Councillor Rayner. We also have a CAO missing in action this evening. He's away at a conference. And so we have in his place acting CAO, who is normally our Director of Protective and Community Services, Ms. Cynthia Summers. So Cynthia's in the hot spot tonight. We'll try not to give her too many hard questions. Number 6 on our agenda is always the opportunity for members of the public to address items on the agenda. And under 6.7 of our procedural bylaw, there shall be no comments from the public permitted at council unless A, a specific appointment has been scheduled, or B, an item is included under the other business or communications or appointments section of the agenda and relates to a matter which would normally be dealt with at committee. So I see no one in the gallery that I think is prepared to do that, but is there anyone online, Kevin?
Not seeing any, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. So that takes us to the appointments section of our agenda, and we do have a presentation this evening from Dr. Leslie Rigg. Leslie Rigg is the President and Vice Chancellor of Brock University and has just been actually reappointed for a further 2-year term, even though this term isn't over yet. Is it another 5? My apologies. I just know that it starts in 27 and you haven't even completed yet to where you are. But obviously, lots of good things have been happening at Brock, and we're going to hear about some of those things this evening. And some of you will recognize that we also have April Jeffs with us, who is assisting and taking photos, and is here along with Dr. Rigg. So go ahead, please, Dr. Rigg.
Is it on now? Oh,
It is
there
on
it is.
now.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, councilors and mayor. Thank you so much for entertaining our presentation tonight. I think the focus is going to be upbeat because I think Brock and the Niagara region is at a very particular moment, and it's very exciting. And I think that the things that are going on at Brock reflect the activities in the region, and they go hand in hand. Do I move the slide? Oh, look, I did. Okay. I think, as you know, last year we celebrated our 60th birthday, and it's hard to think back 60 years, but the Niagara residents at that time joined forces to raise funds to take $5 million to the province of Ontario to say, we want a university. And I'd say that they did that then because what they knew remains true today, that having a public university in the region, which is intrinsically dedicated to serving the community, has immeasurable value. Studying locally means that talent can be not just retained in the region, but developed in the region, and developed specifically for the needs of Niagara. And I would say that since these pictures on the screen here, we've come quite a long way. In fact, the tower that is being built in that upper hand corner, you know as Schwann Tower. My office sits on the top of it, and I can't go anywhere in Niagara without being reminded of work because I see that building everywhere I am, but I love it. We are really proud to be not just in Niagara, but of Niagara, to be one of Hamilton Niagara's top employers. Repeatedly, we are the second largest employer in the region. We have almost 3,000 employees, and a vast majority of them live here in the Niagara region, and there's even 8 that live in West Lincoln. I had 10 written down. I don't know if 2 moved out but I don't think so. I would see 2 moving back in. So what this map shows you is that we are the employees in the region. A vast majority do live in St. Catharines, but there are a lot of our residents or our employees who are residents across the region. So we truly are well distributed. I think one of the facts that people don't realize, and if I do a very simple comparison to the auto sector, so we talk about the importance of the auto sector, and the auto sector in Ontario employs about 200,000 people. Universities across Ontario employ almost 500,000 people. And so the economic impact of universities is far-reaching, and it's more impactful than just the dollars that are spent in the town where the university is, or the money that the employees make, but it's the added benefit of having well-trained talent in the region. And so it adds an economic impact. The total economic impact of Brock in any given year is estimated to be about $1.4 billion. If we go out to all of Ontario, it doubles. And when you do that for all of the universities across Ontario, you can see the significant impact and the importance of having universities, not just in the big cities, but in the regions. Having universities in the regions distributes the training, research, economic impact, the prosperity out of the cities and into the full scope of what Ontario has to offer. We also have almost 124,000 alum. Actually, in a couple of weeks, we'll have 4,000 more walk across our stage. So before you know it, we're going to have almost 130 alumni in over 110 different countries around the world. Now, a lot of the people, the students who come to Brock end up staying in Niagara. Some estimates across Ontario are that 80% of the students who come to the region, whatever region it is in Ontario that they're attending, tend to stay there. We know at Brock, when we poll our students, we have at least a 25% gain. So in terms of however many are from Niagara, 25% more say they want to stay here. So we are an attractant, and that what we attract is talent, so it's very useful. If you look at the pictures on the slide, it just represents a number of the things that are going on at Brock, and I love that aerial shot of our 60th birthday. But in the top right-hand corner, or left-hand corner, sorry, is Paul Zalisco, and he's from the Brock Niagara Validation Prototyping and Manufacturing Institute, easier VPMI. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it was a $6 million investment from FedDev Ontario to create a set of analytical equipment and basically a whole suite of instrumentation for industry in the region. So it is an externally focused entity, so it's something that we really do try to get out there and promote because it was built for you and not for our researchers. But the benefit of having our researchers is that they can work with industry on the issues that industry is facing and hopefully develop solutions together. Well, so something that's near and dear to my heart is the notion of experiential learning. 100% of the programs at Brock, and this makes us a leader across the country, have experiential education embedded within the curriculum. And so this is, you know, when I was a student, the reason that I'm sitting here today is because a professor offered me a research position in his lab for the summer, and I got what I call getting my feet wet and my hands dirty. And by doing that, I fell in love with what I did as an academic. And so when students get to be an intern or have a co-op placement, such as Jackson Tinker, this changes their lives. And I don't say that lightly or mildly. This is the experience that will turn a student from being just a student to being a professional, to being a dedicated employee, to having a career. It's different. And so I really thank you for taking our co-op students. You've had 6 of them, 6 placements in the last couple of years. That is significant. That is changing the lives of 6 individuals. And over the past few years, we've also been lucky enough to have some of our Med Plus and Law Plus students come and volunteer here. So that is something that will not just change their lives, but hopefully will help the individuals who they got to work with. And I think one of the examples was one of the volunteers was at the Smithville Chiropractic. So hopefully somebody's moving a little smoother because of their help and intervention. Our partnership with local municipalities is one that Brock truly values. And what I would say about this is the reason I came to Brock. I was at a different university, and when I got the invitation to put my name in the hat for the president at Brock, the minute I started looking into really deeply into what Brock was, how it functioned, and what it meant to the region of Niagara, I knew this was somewhere where I wanted to be. And the fact that I've just been renewed is a testament to my desire to really want to be here and to work at Brock because of the impact that Brock has on its community. It is very rare, I can tell you, I've worked at a few institutions, it is very rare for a university to be so interwoven with its region. And so for me, this is the most amazing aspect of Brock. By working closely together, we're able to connect our academic expertise with real community needs and supporting workforce development and innovation all across Niagara. These relationships are built on trust, and they have to have a shared purpose. And when that happens, I really truly believe that we have lasting impact. So at the top left, I think you probably know what some of these pictures are of. So there's representatives from the Township and the West Lincoln Chamber of Commerce who have visited VPMI and Covey. Everybody, I hope, knows Covey is our Cool Climate Enology and Viticulture Institute, our Grape and Wine Research Center. I always like to brag that there's a wine industry in Canada because of Covey. Though I think if the director of Covey heard me say that, she'd say, Leslie, don't say that. But it is true that the quality of the wines that are produced here in Niagara are second to none, and I'm so pleased that Covey gets to play, even if it's a small role in that, that we are impactful. And one of the pictures up there has our Vice President for Research, Tim Kenyon, who was at the plowing match last year. And I did receive a T-shirt, so, and I enjoy it. It's a lovely T-shirt. So the future, and then I will leave you to your meeting in a few moments. As we look to the future, one of the things that we did last year was create a new strategic plan. And as I said at the beginning of this presentation, one of the reasons that Brock exists is because the people of the region advocated for a university to be here. And so there were reasons that people wanted a university, and we knew that we would have to go back out to community to find out if what they said then holds true now. And so we had over 3,000 points of contact, including 500 alumni that we talked to. And while it varied in how they put it, lots of people said really great things, and when we distilled it down into a simple message, it was transforming people and reimagining the future. And I think that that is exactly what we do. And people come, when students who come onto our campus and take our courses, they make friends that last a lifetime. Their careers change who they are and how they see the world. And so we do know that people are transformed through the process of education. And then by being at Brock, we're hoping that for them individually and for us collectively, they are able, and we are able, to reimagine the future. Very quickly, no university would be complete if one of its strategic pillars or strategic directions wasn't something about research and knowledge. So of course our first pillar is to shape tomorrow through research, discovery, and knowledge. Building sustainable futures is purposefully plural, and that is because we can talk about sustainability, we can talk about the fact that Brock is in a UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve, we can talk about things that are going on in terms of the sustainability of the way that we live, of our communities, and then we can also talk about this financial sustainability, all of which are equally important, and none of them got more votes than the other, so we group them together in the notion of sustainable futures. Realizing you matter. People are at the heart of what we do, and not just the students, but the faculty and staff who are on our campus day in and day out to ensure that our students and our campus is vibrant and productive. People, if it wasn't for people, we wouldn't exist. And so people matter to us. And one of the individuals on the steering committee for the strategic plan wanted it to not say realize you matter, but just in capitals, sort of yelling at everybody, you matter. And we said, no, we have to tone it down a little bit. Bringing the world to Brock and Brock to the world is not just a hat tip to internationalization. Internationalization, both within our community, within the curriculum, and for our students getting experiences overseas when possible, those can be life-changing events. And I have been an international student twice, so I know the power of international education. I know the power of going somewhere and learning about where you are from by being somewhere else and the importance of that. And also, it's wonderful that many of the students who come here from overseas do stay here, make Niagara home, and are part of our regional prosperity. The last slide really highlights our commitment to community-focused programming throughout Niagara. There's a picture there from BFIT at the Canada Games Park, the support for agribusinesses and with Covey and the agribusiness sector, and partnerships like Willow Arts Community and the Marilyn I. Walker School of the Fine and Performing Arts, where creativity, expression, and healing bring Niagara voices to the foreground. and our MOU partnerships with local partners like Bethesda. I'll end it there and say thank you. Thank you for not just listening to this presentation, but thank you for being a part of the history of Brock, and most importantly, for the future, because I do think it's a very exciting future. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm just wondering if there's anybody who has a question, and will you entertain those?
I absolutely will.
Okay, so is there anyone who has a question for Dr. Rigg? Councillor Maychak.
First of all, I want to thank you. I graduated twice from Brock, 82, 84, and then 25 years later, my daughter graduated
Awesome.
from Brock with honors and went on to Teachers College there and is now teaching a grade 2 class. So thank you. I recognize the fact you have internships. I'm going to meet with Jackson tomorrow. Thankful of Justin to file my election papers. But I'm also embarking on a project that's too early to say, and we want to involve the Niagara region. And who would I reach out to at Brock if we had some excellent internship opportunities over the next 2 years?
I'll dob April Jeffson for that. And through our community partnership office, we would then be able to connect you with our experiential learning group. April, does that sound good?
Yeah, you can definitely reach out to me, and then we put you in touch with Alicia.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thanks.
Anything else? Councillor Chichok.
Well, I imagine that both of our guests are probably listening to Pomp and Circumstance a lot more than listening to councillors tonight, but I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to say thank you to you. Personally, I've had the opportunity to be there recently, to go through your facilities, the lab facilities, and to hear and see the new farm and the greenhouses and the screen houses, all of that reflecting on your growth into other things besides just grapes. So if you can do for other commodities, especially in the horticultural field, which I'm involved in, I want to be in your dirt more often. It was a wonderful experience to see the facilities, to see the investment, and not that we're competing with automobiles, but I understand that there's about $8 million in the lab that can be useful to horticultural farmers in this area. And I look forward to having more graduates in West Lincoln coming from Brock. We do have one at home, but more would be better. So thank you for the opportunity to see your university, to be part of it, and to become even closer in the near future.
Thank you. And if I may, I would just, what you were referring to is our newest project, which is the Norris Walker Research Farm. So this was the largest ever grant to Brock University through the Canadian Foundation for Innovation. It was a $6 million, it's a total of a $10 million project. When we put the bid in, and now after, because it takes some time, it'll probably be more like a $15 million project through private donation, CFI funding, Province of Ontario, and then some matching funds from Brock. And this is a greenhouse and experimental farm on the Merrittville Highway. And so once it's the shovel's in the ground, we do invite you to come and visit and watch its progress grow, because it will be supporting all aspects and within the agriculture sector here in the region.
And Madam Mayor, oftentimes we think about all those meat producers, the chickens and the hogs and the cattle, but sometime you want a salad. And horticulture is always forgotten because they think about fruit in this peninsula, but there is a lot of horticulture growing here in this area, and we need you, and you need us.
Thank you.
And certainly anything that supports agriculture, because you've been now a couple of times to West Lincoln, you know that we have a very vast rural area surrounding a very small urban area. So we're pleased to have that lens placed on West Lincoln as well. Just one other thing, that since I don't see any other questions, and this one actually was directed through me to you, and that was that our Age-Friendly Advisory Committee has taken part in a couple of different McMaster University studies where they're looking at various aspects of the aging community. They're certainly looking at transportation and how people get around it out here, and what they do when they know that there's no public transportation. So that would be an example. So if there is something that you see, or through you, Dr. Rigg, April sees, coming up where you are looking for older adult participants to look at any of those health-related studies, then keep West Lincoln in mind for that too, if you would, please. Because certainly certainly we have this group of people who are willing, to take part. I think mostly because they're happy that somebody is listening to that rural or small town perspective on where things are going or where they're not going. So.
That's fantastic to know, and I think the group's probably doing all that, but for us, it's a good reminder. I know I'm going to get the name of the institute wrong, but we have a Lifespan Institute, and so they are always working on projects.
I think they attended our session last, that we did.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. We'll make sure that
good.
message gets back.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you both
Thank
for
you.
your time, for your trip to West Lincoln. I'm glad it wasn't pouring rain, and we've had a lot of that windy, rainy weather lately, so I'm glad that you had at least a nice evening to come out, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that will take us then to number 8 on our agenda this evening, which is communications. 8.1 is just the notice of the Public Information Center regarding the Baker Road wastewater treatment plant expansion. It's only for information. It was available for you to read. I'm sure that you have. But 8.2, however, requires a resolution, and it is a recognition resolution for the Township of West Lincoln regarding Pride Month 2026. So, Councillor Maychak, you have that resolution.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself, whereas the month of June is Pride Month in the region of Niagara and around the globe, and whereas municipalities across the region will be holding a variety of Pride commemorations throughout the month of June, commencing with the raising of the Pride flag on Monday, June 1st, 2026, and whereas we recognize the public representation is extremely valuable and is an important way to help all people, and especially marginalized communities, feel safe, welcome, supported, and valued. And whereas we're committed to fostering a diverse and inclusive community where in all cases hatred and discrimination are not welcome. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Township of West Lincoln Council acknowledge June as Pride Month and encourage the West Lincoln community to unite in support of Pride and all its members. Further, that Township of West Lincoln Council endorsed the following Pride initiatives in West Lincoln: the Township raising of the Pride flag on Monday, June 1st, and sharing information related to the Pride Niagara and West Lincoln Library programming.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there someone to second that resolution, please? Councillor Riley, thank you. Okay, and so the June 1st flag raising that was referred to is actually ours, and I believe it's 11:30, right, in the morning on June 1st. So we're ready for that. Yeah, mine's not coming.
It's always slow the first time.
Yep,
Just-
it should be there. Hopefully it is. And that carries. Thank you. And number 9, Regional Councilors' remarks. Councillor Witteveen, please.
Just a short report for this evening, as we're down on our numbers as well, so it looks like it will fall into place. So, good evening, mayors, members of council, staff, and members of the public. So earlier this month, we had our Public Works Committee meeting, and we approved funds for a combined sewer overflow program to local municipalities. Many of you are familiar with the program. That is a cost-shared initiative with the Niagara region. It targets to help mitigate the impacts of wet weather events on the sanitary sewer system, which returns benefits to the environment. West Lincoln was successful in securing funding for the about $155,000 for the projects that the community had applied for. So we also, of interest, we passed a resolution coming from Waste Management Planning Steering Committee to request a delegation at the 2026 AMO conference to advocate for changes to address recycling service gaps for the non-eligible sources under the Ontario Blue Box regulatory framework. Since the province implemented their new regulations in the new year, we have learned more about how this new regulation has affected businesses and residents in negative outcome, and feel strongly that this needs to be addressed. And I think, councillors, we were presented with some options on the non-eligible situation in our local downtown community, so you understand where we'll be lobbying in AMO. And then also on the waste management, at the beginning of 2027, Niagara Region Waste Collection Guide will transition to a digital model. Many households are already using the app for notifications and what is collected and how to deal with their waste. Of course, there'll be a period of time where outreach will take place to notify residents of these changes. Hard copies will be available at pickup locations. This change will create a savings of $100,000 annually. The savings will come from not printing 183,000 guides and the mailing.
Sounds good, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Severe thunderstorm warning.
we're not evacuating? Okay,
not.
good.
Continue, Councillor.
At the Public Health and Social Services meeting, we were presented with the work of the Heart Hub that they're in Niagara is doing. To refresh your memory, we received $18 million over 3 years to focus on the most vulnerable in our community. Dealing with severe mental health challenges, we here in Niagara will be reaching out to approximately 700 chronic homeless persons. This will be a multi-agent approach, working towards housing first with no preconditions, comprehensive support following housing access, focusing on mental health stability, which adheres to the housing first principles. To date, our team has successfully housed 57 clients in the first month of the program. We are excited with the progress, progress so far, but have a long road ahead of us, as the most difficult clients will take more of a concerted effort. And lastly, I just wanted to highlight the next public information meeting for the Smithville Downtown Bypass is scheduled June the 4th at the Community Center, and encourage everybody, members of the public, to attend this, as this is an important to get this right for our community. So thank you for letting me report this month. If any councillors have any questions, I will answer them for them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Whittabine. Are there any questions? Councillor Riley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To you too, Regional Councillor Whittabine. Thank you for your update and your report there. I just wanted to make a comment. I don't, I realize it's early stages regarding the bypass, and or not so early, I guess. It's been in the works for a while here, but we're finally at the point of public input, and just some of the concerns have been brought to my attention. And I realize I'll participate in the event when it comes up, but I think it's worth noting that, I know there's a lot of concerns of how the impact's going to strike our downtown businesses. As traffic gets mitigated out and around the community, some of that drive-by traffic or some of those quicker mom-and-pop shops will be impacted. So hopefully we can have your support to protect our businesses and make sure that, if there's a voice still at the regional table there between yourself and the mayor, that those concerns are clearly heard, because as much as it's great to divert the traffic, some of the, bigger industrial vehicles, there's a risk, an economic risk to our downtown core in those businesses that are the businesses that support our youth programs and charity events and stuff like that. They're going to be hit through some of that drive-by, walk-through traffic that they sometimes, or most times, can count on. And we want to make sure that everything that's done is done appropriately, and making sure that some of that stuff's taken into consideration, how we're going to manage that potential risk. So, anyways, just wanted to put that out there. Hopefully, it can kind of blossom into something positive, and look forward to working with you.
through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Riley, no, very good point, and my understanding, this is commercial traffic that the objective is to reroute, and but it's still a year or two plus out there, so it'd be good to develop a strategy for your concerns as well, and I'm sure there will be community people that will bring up those concerns to the group that are doing the study for us to make sure that that is not missed in their comprehensive view and strategy moving forward. So, good points.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much, Councillor Witteveen. So item number 10 on our agenda is confirmation of minutes, and Councillor Rayner originally had the council minutes. If you do that, please.
I can. Moved by so it's item 10.1.
It is.
So moved by myself that the minutes relating to the March 23rd, 2026 council meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second those, please. Councillor Chichok. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments about that? Nope. So seeing nothing, then the vote should be in front of you, councillors. And that carries. 10.2 are the special council minutes that we had last month as well. Actually, the beginning of this month, so May 4th. Councillor Trombetta, you have that resolution, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to May 4th, 2026 special council meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second that, please. Thank you. Councillor Nachak. I'm presuming there are no questions or comments. I think that was 5 minutes long, that meeting, so I think we can go to the vote, please. And that also carries. And 10.3 was the public meeting under the Planning Act, and Councillor Chichok, you have those minutes?
I do, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the May 4th, 2026 public meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second those, please? Councillor Trombetta, thank you. Are there any questions or comments about those minutes? And seeing none, Mr. Clark, please. And that also carries. Item 11 on the agenda are my remarks, and they also are quite short this evening. It seems like it wasn't that long ago that we had a meeting. This one's a little bit early in the month. So good evening, everyone. As of our last council meeting, April 27th, I have just a few events on which to report. On Friday, May 1st, I was pleased to have attended a meeting at MPP Osterhoff's constituency office, where I was able to introduce to Sam, our Director of Community and Protective Services, Cynthia Summers, and our Manager of Community and Protective Services, DJ Brooks. They were then able to discuss methods of accessing various seniors grants so as to allow for additional programming for West Lincoln's older adult population. Saturday, May 2nd was the townwide Kids Care Food Drive, which by the end of the week had raised approximately 8,700 pounds of food for West Lincoln Community Care. The number of clients in need of support rose in both March and April, and thus the generosity of our community is greatly appreciated. And so thank you to the many volunteers who came out to help date and then sort those donations. On Sunday afternoon, May 3rd, I had the pleasure of representing West Lincoln at the ceremony commemorating the World War II Battle of the Atlantic. This event took place at the Pump House in Grimsby and was hosted by the Royal Canadian Legion Centennial Branch 612. On May 6th and 7th, CAO McBride and I represented West Lincoln at the Great Lakes and Cities Initiative in Hamilton, where the focus was on all of the lands surrounding the St. Lawrence Seaway and Great Lakes area, now being referred to as the Fresh Coast Economic Corridor. Representatives from U.S. and Canadian municipalities of all sizes were present at this event. Session topics included new approaches to water management, long-term economic transformation across the Great Lakes St. Lawrence region, unlocking the inland advantage, and attracting new business investment that delivers good jobs, protects water quality and supply, and advances long-term freshwater stewardship for generations to come. Saturday, May 9th, at the Smithville United Church was a celebration honoring the 95th birthday of Ivan Carruthers, a longtime West Lincoln resident. I was pleased to present Ivan with a certificate from the Township marking the occasion of this important milestone. On Tuesday evening, May 12th, John and I were pleased to attend the Niagara Regional Police Awards ceremony for 2026. Members of the service, both sworn and civilian, were honored for their courage and professionalism, as well as deep connection to the people that they serve. Among the many who were recognized was our own Staff Sergeant of District 8, Dylan Bourgeois. And on Thursday evening, May 14th, John and I attended the Niagara Home Builders Association Chairs Dinner, where each of the area mayors in attendance gave an update on where their municipality is in regards to homes being built. In our case, although we currently have only the condos off St. Catherine Street being built, we do have work being done to allow for additional wastewater capacity and just over 1,400 units draft plan approved. And that's where we sit, and that's the end of my remarks. So, it takes us, unless somebody has a question about any of those wonderful events, takes us to the reports from committee. And Councillor Chichok, you have the Growth and Sustainability Committee minutes from also May 4th, please.
I do, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the May 4th, 2026 Growth and Sustainability Committee meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second those, please? Councillor Turnbetter, can I go to you again? Thank you. Any questions or comments about those minutes? All right. I see no hands, so we'll go to the vote. And that vote carries. 12.2 are the Infrastructure Committee minutes from May 4th, and Councillor Riley, you have those.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the May 4th, 2026 Infrastructure Committee meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And Councillor Maychak, can I ask you to second those, please?
Sure.
Are there any questions or comments about those minutes? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk. And that resolution also carries, which takes us to 12.3, which are the Corporate Services Committee minutes from May 11th. And Councillor Maychak, you have those, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor, that the minutes relating to the May 11th, 2026 Corporate Services Committee meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second those? Councillor Riley? Are there any questions or comments about those minutes? Well, that takes us to the vote, Mr. Clerk. And that carries as well. 12.4 are the Community and Protective Services Committee minutes from May 11th, and those are yours, Councillor Trombetta, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the May 11th, 2026 Community Protective Services Committee meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second those? Councillor Chichok, thank you. Are there any questions about those minutes or any comments regarding those minutes? So, Mr. Clerk, we're ready for a vote again. Oh, but we have a delay. Okay. Was I the delay? It didn't, yeah, it didn't come up. Thank you. Okay, so that also carries. So we have no reconsiderations this evening and no notices of motion to rescind, and that takes us to other business from members of council. So is there anyone? Councillor Maychak, you're shaking your head. Nothing, Councillor Trombetta? Councillor Riley, nothing? Councillor Chichok?
There's a thunderstorm. And a possible tornado coming through West Lincoln. I think we all want to get home and take cover, as it says.
I think that's what the emergencies were about, right, for sure. Well, the only thing that I was going to put on was about the bypass public information session, but Regional Councillor Woodavine covered that very nicely, so it is on June 4th, and hopefully people will come out. No new items of business unless somebody has something. And there are no confidential, so that takes us right away to bylaws. And Councillor Riley, you have the bylaws this evening.
I do. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that leave be granted to introduce bylaws 2026-25, 2026-26, 2026-27, 2026-28, and 2026-29, and that the same shall be considered to have been read a first, second, and third time with one reading and are hereby adopted, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to sign and affix the corporate seal thereto, any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding.
Thank you. And someone to second bylaws, please. Councillor Chichok. Is there anyone who wishes to remove any of those bylaws from the group? Seeing none, the vote will be in front of you. And that vote carries, which takes us to item 20 on our agenda, which is an adjournment at the hour of 7:15.